What's up guys, David Land here and welcome back to Project Cars 2, where we are going to do a little investigation, and that investigation involves plate racing in Project Cars 2. I already did this for NASCAR Heat 2, and we pretty much determined that the plate racing was very good in that game when it was very bad in NASCAR Heat Evolution. So let's see what it's like in a game that claims that it is a very accurate racing simulation. Now obviously there are many classes and many different cars in Project Cars 2, so let's see today how well they got restrictor plate racing nailed down in a field of 32 Ford Fusion stock cars under the lights at Daytona. You can see I'm driving the 32 Ford. I guess technically I'm being Matt DiBenedetto in this race. But let's get into it. Let's see what plate racing is like, and if it sucks, in Project Cars 2. So here we are on the grid at Daytona, starting in the dusk and going into the night. Gonna find out how Project Cars 2 handles Daytona racing as we are underway. And as I shift up, I am using an H-pattern shifter. What's cool about Project Cars 2 is that you don't have to use the clutch with the stock cars. Reason being is that you don't use the clutch when shifting in real life with a stock car. Now some people do it on the road courses with the downshifts, but never on the upshifts. All you have to do is burp the throttle and shift. And that's the way it works in Project Cars 2. So I appreciate that realism, as one of the cars goes really badly off of turn number 2 there, and everybody's kind of slow down the back straightaway. So a little bit of a stack up, I'm guessing, going into turn 3 for the first time, hoping nobody crashes. It's kind of hard to see around the banking. So you got one down the inside as everybody's slowing up. And we're gonna get around the 29 car, so up one position from 32nd to 31st. And I've got the time acceleration up 5 times, so we should be seeing quite a quick transition to the nighttime in this 15-lap race. As you can see, everybody's kind of getting packed up in the front, so we got to get up there and try to capitalize on that and not lose the draft, because otherwise this will be a very boring video if I lose the draft. I pinch it off a lot of the times coming out of the corners too, which is a problem. It's easy to do that in this game. As we swing down the backstretch, a little bit of a Scandinavian flick into turn 3. Just going to try to not lose any speed, but also not get into the wall as we run the outside groove. Now this track is very, very bumpy, and it's very slippery. So I feel like slightly Mad Studios modeled the 2007 version of this track before the repave, or excuse me, the 2012 version, or whatever the last year was before they repaved it. As we're going to get around the 16 car here. Should be fairly easy. Yes, we did. Car kind of looks like Jeff Gordon's car, except for with white and black paint for some reason. Probably because they didn't want to get sued, because now they have Daytona. That means they had to license things through NASCAR. It's amazing we actually have a stock car in this game we can run around Daytona, even though it's just the Ford Fusion. No Chevys or Toyotas or Dodges or anything else. Just these cars. And it is like in the 2013 Aero package, or I guess you could consider that this is an ARCA car, which I kind of go off of, because ARCA is essentially spec anyway at this point. So you can do ARCA. And ironically enough, if you're talking it's like ARCA, ooh, Jeff Gordon's car was very squirrely there. If you're pretending this is an ARCA simulator, the AI who crash constantly, thankfully they haven't crashed in this race yet, are actually fairly true to life. And there's ARCA brakes, because the AI never slow down when there's a crash. So as we get off at turn 4, again, the car wants to, move down to the inside. I don't blame Dale Jr. or Jimmy Johnson or Chase Elliott or any of the Hendrick guys that have spun off at turn 4 at Daytona before, because because I can see how it would be easy to do now. Because the back end really feels very light when you go out of turn 4 and out of turn 2, by the way. And now we're going to get passed by the Jeff Gordon ripoff car. Little bit of contact as my car again started to hook down to the left. We're just going to keep this 29 car behind us. If we can work together with all these cars, we can get back up into the front group here. But the 29, he's going to go down all the way on the apron. Okie dokie. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. So we're going to get in behind him. Hopefully, that was a problem. I was going to say it was a better exit, but it wasn't a better exit. I'm hoping that the AI start to slow each other down, and I think they are up there. I think somebody came into the pits. That may have slowed down the pack just out front. Yeah, look at they're slowing down up there, so hopefully they don't get back up to speed by the time we get up there.
That's your best first sector so far. Nice one.
Well, that's my best first sector. A sector on an oval, huh? What's this? What's this? Red coat talk. That's some Yankee talk right there. Well, we're falling behind a little bit. Again, I didn't go into this with a custom setup or anything, so probably should have done that. Oh, is somebody slow there? I feel like somebody's slow in the middle of that pack. We are definitely going to catch these guys up fairly quickly now. And I don't know how this is going to go. Well, we're going to lift off going into turn 1. I should have lifted off way more than that. How bad did I damage the car? Not at all, somehow. Somehow didn't damage the car at all. And we're going to try to get back in the draft here as the sun is really starting to set here at Daytona. As they're going to try to go 3 wide into turn number 3. I don't think that's a very advisable move there, boys. A little bit of a bad idea. As we just pound over the bumps in turn number 3 and 4 and all of the corners into the tri-oval. Looks like we're going to have a good run here on the 29, but is there anywhere I can go with it? Well, we'll go to the inside. We'll see what we can do here. Yes, down to the inside of the 29, just lifting off the gas a little bit. Oh, and I got into the 29, and around he goes. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's weird. It's hard to hold your line. I don't know if that's true to life or what, as I almost lost it off at turn number 2. As we pull around the Jeff Gordon ripoff and move down the back straightaway in the draft of that 3 wide racing, and we're getting run into. How bad is it? Damage. Not too bad. We're going to shift down to the 3rd and get back on it. So yeah, that would have been a yellow in real life, but guess what? It's not a yellow in this game. Because there are no yellow. Well, there are yellows, but they're always local yellows.
Think about defending from that guy behind.
So just looking at some telemetry there. Some people who are smarter than I
The driver ahead's got a 3-second lead.
tell me what I'm looking at here.
Stay consistent, focus on the lap time, keep pushing, keep pushing.
So the race engineer is trying to get me back in the game here. They were quite a ways back, so I'm kind of hoping if the AI do crash, they go ahead and crash bigly. Please, we need a miracle here, and I need to avoid the crash if it happens. But I will say this game is beautiful. I will say one of the things that I don't know if this is, again, people who know more about Daytona than I do. Because as far as I know, the yellow line, the double yellow is not that big, not that wide. But I was looking at pictures of Daytona, and I saw that on the real track, they've actually got a black line in between the yellow lines. That isn't here on this surface. So I wonder if that black line kind of throws off how wide the double yellow actually is. But I don't know. Again, you'll have to let me know in the comments if the double yellow line is accurate. And now that we're all by ourselves, the car is a little bit easier to drive, and we're able to stay relatively far away from the car chasing us.
That's your best so far.
And actually, we're running pretty fast right now. I wonder if the tires are actually coming up to temperature. Because as you can see on the telemetry, they're still blue, which means they're cold, supposedly. Then again, we are doing this in the winter time, because I set it to be February, like the Daytona 500 is run. So it's possible that that is affecting it, though I don't know exactly how it would affect it. Because you'd think in Florida, it's not actually going to be all that cold. But who knows? I have had it snow when I ran a Le Mans race in June, and I set the weather to random, assuming, oh, if there's some sort of precipitation, easy for me to say, it will be rain. Oh no, it started snowing in the middle of June in France. Global warming is a real thing, folks, and it happened in France for some reason. Very frightening situation. As we keep, you may notice like the position indicator keeps indicating that there's a car down there. I think that's the 29 that I wrecked earlier. He must have just been crashed like horribly down there, and he's just kind of stuck. I think it's really cool as well that you can see the window net moving as we drive here at 180 miles an hour on Daytona, just vibrating a little bit. But it's a nice touch. So what lap are we on here? I'm gonna take a look as we cross the line. So we got 2 laps to go. So we may not actually go into the night. I just realized at Daytona. And I'll tell you, if you're going into this game looking for plate racing, at least with the AI in their current form, this is probably not the game for you. It's a great racing simulator, but the oval track racing really needs some polish, I would say. It's just not there yet. And supposedly they are going to patch the AI and whatnot. So maybe it'll get better. And I think a lot of this, unless they put a restrictor plate on these cars for the Daytona Racing, which I'm not aware they do, it's possible that essentially everybody's taking road race stock cars to run at Daytona. And it's certainly possible that they're not racing all that well because they're not designed for plate racing. Just a possibility. But I think we're coming to the last lap here. I mean, and I guess we're not going to run into the night, so I lied about that. But good grief, does this game look gorgeous. You may have noticed, like, on the back straightaway, the car's shadow on the backstretch wall. You saw the sun peeking through the grandstands. Pretty cool. Alright, this is the final lap of the race. So maybe we will get a little bit of dusk at least, as it's very dark here in turns 1 and 2. And I guess we'll just hold on to whatever position this is, as we are catching the car ahead of us. And look at the shadow. That looks fantastic. Really true to life as we move into a Daytona evening. But we are going to come through turn number 4, very bumpy turn 4, come off of turn 4, and we are going to cross the line and be done with that. So, yeah. To answer the title of the video, the plate racing kind of sucks in this game. You're gonna, if you want to simulate 1980s stock car racing where the field was awfully spread out on the plate tracks, this is for you. But if you want to, actually plate race, I would say go get NASCAR Heat 2. But then again, I mean, thinking about it from the perspective of everything else with the game, if you are interested in literally any other motorsports, and that includes NASCAR racing on the road courses. I mean, I would say definitely you should pick this game up. In fact, I think we are going to end up looking at the stock car racing on the road courses at some point, even though it says my pit box is currently occupado, which is interesting. Well, I guess we'll go down here and go into it anyway, because screw the police. Here we go. We made it. Well, let's take a real quick look as a guy by the name of Max Throttle won the race. Max Throttle. I feel like that's an Easter egg. Let's see if there's any other Easter eggs in here. That's pretty funny. So I'm guessing Max Throttle is like the best guy in the game. We finished 29th. That's respectable, right? That's a Danica position to finish, right? I should have been the 10 car. Well, let's take a look at the replay here. And I'm going to set it not at my car. We're going to take a look at the front of the pack just to kind of see how this looks. I mean, the replay angle, they nailed them. They're absolutely exactly, that's maybe slightly too far over to the wall. But I mean, you look at that, and visually this game is just so spectacular. I mean, they nailed the look. They have not nailed the plate racing, though. I mean, that looks pretty good right there, but as you can see, it's got the same NASCAR Heat evolution thing where the field is a little too spread out. I mean, this is lap number 1, you know, of a plate race. You'd think they'd be much closer together, and that's cool. They've got the Fox Sports Daytona 500 camera angle, which they usually use for crank it up. And yeah, it's just like the drafting works, but they get too spread out. I mean, that looks like the end of a race right there, and that was the end of the first lap. So, I mean, chalk this one up. I mean, just pretty much the entire oval racing thing in Project Cars is fairly under-realized, I would say, because Indianapolis, the AI don't know how to take the first corner. At Texas, they don't know how to get in the pit lane. And here, they just don't race very closely. Now, I wonder what the Indy cars are like. I almost want to try that, because they have more grip. So, it's possible that they would race in better packs than the NASCARs would. But, again, man, look at how this game looks, man. It looks fantastic. I mean, that's exactly what it looks like when you watch a race on TV. All of the camera angles are exactly the same. So that's really cool. I like that. But let me know in the comments down below. Have you picked up Project Cars 2? Have you played with the oval racing? Because now I've done modern Indy cars, I've done classic Indy cars, I've done stock cars, which are really the 3 big oval class disciplines in the game. And there was one that I actually had fun with, which was the Roadsters, the Indy Roadsters, the classic Indy cars. And even then, the AIs crashed a whole lot. But, yeah, again, let me know your comments down below. Leave a like on the video for more Project Cars 2. I think I'll do some sports car racing next, because it's one of the most fun divisions in this game, because you can multi-class race, prototypes, GTs, very, very fun stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching once again. This has been David Land on YouTube. If you like spread out plate racing and you're a plate racing fan, get Project Cars 2. But if you want realistic plate racing, go get NASCAR Heat Evolution. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube, and we will see you in the next video. Especially now on the upshifts, since we've got a huge crash. Somebody landing on top of me. And we're gonna have to restart the race to model this track with, as we're just getting run off the road. And there's a big one. There's the big one. Oh God. Well, that's realistic.